conversation. I really think it is, right? You know, I've
Yeah.
been mulling over something. Zara and I were just talking about it just now. People know what to do to below, but you and I have you and I have talked about this as well before, right? People know what to do, and many of them do the right things, right? They do the right things. They do the things that we say we should do. Think right, think positively, work hard, and yet Tobiloba, it doesn't work. I heard two Nigerians talking. I don't know, there's some professor guy. I don't know whether it's a professor or not. But literally, that's what they call him. He was one of, I think it's one of Zion's friends a couple of days ago, and he was part of the conversation they had was, my friends do everything right, but I think God wants them to be poor forever, and He's made other people to be rich. The professor, he nearly died. He nearly fell off his chair. No, but I can see why, right? Because you and I know God didn't make anyone to be poor. But her question was simply, how comes my friends are doing all the right things, but they're still poor? It made me think, what's the answer? What is the answer? That's what we're talking about today, my friends, right? What is it that holds people back? Zara was asking me just now. So, is it passion? Is it love for what you do? I'm sure those things. It's not. I'm sure. I know those things come into it for sure, right? So let's try and work out what the missing thing is. I will say, I think a concept I've just discovered. The dark night of the soul. Tobiloba, the dark night of the soul. I think that plays a part. I really think it does, right? I think the dark night of the soul. It's a real thing. It's not an idea. It's a real thing. So if I'm just gonna do a quick Google search and I'll tell you exactly what the dark night of the soul is. Nat, I see you. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So glad you're here. Anyone else who's here, do say hello and drop us, put a message in the chat so I can welcome you properly. I can see numbers, I can't see people, right? Dark Night of the Soul. So I'm even going to show you a video of what the Dark Night of the Soul is, right? Oh no, not Dark Search of the Soul. Honestly, Dark Night. I thought it was like night, like a knight on a horse, as I laughed at that earlier, right? But it's not. That's not what the Dark Night of the Soul is. The Dark Night of the Soul. Right. Okay. So, this is what it says in Wikipedia, right? The Dark Night of the Soul has become a popular phrase to describe a crisis of faith or a difficult, painful period in one's life. It is a thing. It's I think deep down people don't believe in themselves. They say they do, and I think some of them actually think they do, right? But somewhere there's a missing link. They haven't resolved that issue. They don't believe. Tobiloba, you and I have talked about this many times. Now I realize. The belief we're talking about is fundamental. Everyone knows this. I'm not saying anything new at all. I'm sure. Anyone who goes to any mindset room will have heard that you have to believe in yourself. I might even say you have to believe in God as well whilst you're there, right? But it is we haven't dealt with the negative thing, the pain in our life. That's why we don't trust ourselves. But so let's have a conversation. And of course, this room is all about how you grow your business. So that's why I brought this topic. And I think once we find a solution to trusting ourselves, everything improves. Our business improves, our relationships improve, our money improves. We're happier, we create more, we do more, we achieve more. It's all about this, dark night of the soul experience. Last I'll say before Karen is I think coaches know this, and they talk about this all the time, right? What is missing? What are they telling us? I'll tell you today. Bear with us. I don't want us to be here for 3 hours. We're not going to be here. We're going to be. I have another show to do with Stanley Green. Now I love to have a nap first before I do that one, right? So we can try and do this in an hour and a bit, if that, right? Yeah, but I think there's something here that we need to address. If you want to join the studio, my friends, I think the link is on the event page. I put it on there. So, you're more than welcome to come and join us and give us your take. How do we trust ourselves? What do we have to do? What makes us trust ourselves? Let me welcome some of my friends. Nat, how you doing? Glad you're here. I'll also hear your thoughts off with that. Sharon Rose as well. Thank you so much for joining us. How you doing? Oh, Annie's here as well. My sister Annie's here. Hello. It's late at night in the UK. It's even later in Zara's place. It's 3 in there. So I'm grateful you're here, Zara. I really am. It's a problem. It's a reality. We were on the show just now earlier on. I'm saying it's late enough as it is, but then if you look I looked at Dr. Yvonne's background. It's sunny. Like, damn, they got a whole day to live still. We're in tomorrow, Zara.
यार सुबह सुबह सो रहा होता हूँ एनी यार. I'm sleeping in the morning. तो 12-1 बज जाते हैं. 12:1:30, almost 12:1:30. I love it.
I might have to do the same because I'm guesting on Stanley Green's show, Power Thinking, the live, and then I'm getting on there. I think it's at 2:30 my time, so I will be up all night. Linda, welcome. I see you. Oh, Marsha, LinkedIn Angel, how are you doing? Glad you're here. I'm loving you. I'm still loving your posts. You're a busy lady.
Yeah, she's a busy lady. I was watching her in the morning.
Yeah, she's doing interesting posts. Yeah. She's doing very, very many posts.
Very happy.
Professor Roxana, how are you? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this topic as well. Who else is here? Oh, my favorite human in the world. I mean that sincerely, apart from my wife and kids. Lisa is my favorite human in the world. Is this you, Annie? Who wants a link to join? If you put it in comments, and I'll send you a link. I'll send you the link to your DM. Kaleem, welcome as well. You're another one who's not going to sleep, right? Oh, Coach Ashif, great to see you, my friend. Great to see you. Alavine, welcome. No, Alavine's here. Okay, welcome. So I'm so glad you. Alavine works hard these days. I love it. I asked the question: why do people join events all day, all night? What's that? My friends join my events. Yay! I love you for that. I really do. I appreciate everyone gives us a time. I'm sure there's a reason why people go to all the events in the world. Who else is here? America is here as well. Oh, I tell you, I feel blessed. And Leanna, so great to see you all. Right, so who wanted the link? If you do your comment again and you say, okay, there you go, I want the link. We have to put your name there. I want the link. I can't look at the details. So put your name in. I have to see what your name is because you're coming up as a LinkedIn user. So I can't see what your name is. I can't send you a DM if I don't know who you are, right? So, right. Can anyone see on LinkedIn who LinkedIn user is? I have not a clue. Anyway, let's carry on the conversation. I'll work out how to send the link to LinkedIn user. Okay, Marsha, is it you? No, it's not you. No, so glad to see. Okay, no, he's Marshall. Okay, right. All right. Okay. I will send you the link now. Okay, all right. So I can carry on now because I was distressed for a second. Tobiloba, share with me. Do you trust yourself? Sorry. My bad, everyone. I'll fix my problem, right? Let me tell you what it means to trust yourself. And I don't think anyone's ever actually asked that question to themselves today, have you? You know? So, my friends, here's how you trust yourself. All right? You wake up, you follow through on what you say you're gonna do, and you progress naturally. No stress, no pain, just progressing naturally. You get things done. You know, you say, whether you say you want to be a doctor, which is obviously many years in the making, right? Many years, like uni, medical school, blah blah blah, right? You know, you have to trust yourself to be able to wake up every day, do what you have to do, the right things, and do it naturally, and also knowing that each time you know when you do that thing, when you wake up, do it, and take the right steps, it comes easy to you. And with that, you'll progress and become a doctor. You know, if you say you want to make £1 million, it's the same thing. You know, essentially, you wake up, you take the right actions, and easy peasy, you become a millionaire. You know, if you look at the people that are, there's Zuckerberg, the big people, the successful people that we know, look at the life stories. It looks easy, right? They woke up every day, they just did what they had to do. Now they got global companies. It looks easy. That is what trust looks like. Trust, my friends, is a partnership between your will and your mind. That is a battle you're playing. That's a battle of trust. Your will must match what your mind tells you. You get me? Is that right, Tobiloba? You get me, right?
Yes.
If your will, what I want to do does not match what my mind believes, there's no trust. Trust is broken. You know, your mind does not believe you, so your will not follow. No trust means we don't do the right things. We don't do what we have to do. We give up. You know, we get distracted. We change course. We fear. But we must have that partnership between our mind and what we want to do, our will. Right. Tobiloba, let me come back to you, my friend. Now you know what trust looks like, right? Do you trust yourself to do what you have to do? It's a question. It's a question, right? I see my friends are here. Marsha, you find your way. What's Marsha? Go on, talk to me. So talk to me. The mic is all you.
And you know, almost all the times you see me refer to what the Bible is saying one here and there and things like that, until I actually take a step back to also study the Quran. Quran chapter 13, verse 11. That's the thing that has been before all of us were born, right? He said, indeed, Allah will not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. This one is not about motivational love. It is a spiritual law, and it's something, you know, that is very, very inspiring and intriguing to me. Notice what that verse said. It did not say that not until they change their job. Same thing the Bible is saying, no. Not until they change their job, not until their environment change, not until society change or improve. It says what is within themselves. So that thing shifts responsibility inward. What is within? What is within? Beliefs, intention, discipline, fear. Is it laziness? Is it gratitude, arrogance, patience? The unseen interior shapes the visible exterior. Your inner condition is the seed. Your outer life is the fruit. It does not mean oppression doesn't exist. This basically establishes that something very powerful. A lot of people see themselves, but they see themselves wrongly. They see themselves, but they see themselves wrongly.
Wrongly.
Everyone is equal to who they are. Or is it that you choose faith over despair, patience over panic, action over stagnation, repentance of who you truly are over denial, believing in yourself in this context means believing I am not frozen, I can expand. You change internally. Everything that God created is good. Whether you believe it or not, you were not created by yourself. You're here for a purpose. Somebody brought you here. Your parents comes together, then you come. That means there's a law that has been put in place for child bearing. And I come to realize as well that there's a law put in place for progress. There's a law put in place to be able to become somebody better. There's a law already put in place to be where you have to be. Your life will never change until you believe that you have the capacity to change your life. Until you believe that whether I believe in myself or I do not believe in myself, whatever that is within me will actually bring the solution. I mean, it will actually reflect inside my life. So, trusting yourself, believing yourself, is you actually taking decision, taking action. Even when you are afraid, even when you don't understand what is going on, even when you don't have an idea of where you find yourself. And it's not necessarily mean like you're pushing yourself, you are doing the things you're not meant to do, and all of those things. No, it's not that. It's simply doing the right thing for yourself. Like just taking the action and focusing on the things that you must do. So you don't just trust yourself with intention. You trust yourself by taking action. Not just that I intend to do this, I want to do this. No. Trusting yourself simply means you're taking action, especially when it's very difficult.
I want to pause you there. I want to pause you there. You know, You are covering, you are very close. I'll give you a B plus, A minus sort of thing, right? Maybe even an A, full stop. Then you're right. Everything you say, you're right. I mean that sincerely, right? I think it's it's bringing it all together, Topolova, right? And I think that what you're saying, I think we know. People told us, right? But people still don't. They're not telling us this action. Yes, it's all about action. I agree. Intention is good, right? Maybe now the next point. Maybe it's if you want to talk about trust, Zara, you feel free. I'm saying, but Topolova has mentioned that you have to believe, you have to have the passion, you have to have all those things. But you must take action.
Yeah,
it's action that becomes you. Your identity must change. I get that. I really don't know. And I think that one important thing also in all of that is the belief that you mentioned, Topolova. You said no, it's what we believe that will become. You see, I think what's his name? No, it's not. Bob Proctor said somewhere, or no, yeah, Bob Proctor. He said somewhere. I was watching. He said, a man's chief delusion is believing that it's not what happens in his mind that forms his life, his experiences. I can't quote that exactly. Now, the point he was making is that everything that happens to us is based on what we believe, as Topolova was saying. Whatever we believe we can, we can't. No, it's what we think that happens. It's what we see. It's what we truly have in our soul that happens. That becomes our life. That's a fundamental thing, I think, for all of us, right? But it raises questions. It raises many questions, which I'll come to in a second. Welcome, Marsha. I do see you. And Professor Charlie, you make me laugh, right? You're on a profound road today, Annie. This is an important question, right? This is an important question. I think
Charlie is backing up, following up. Yeah,
yeah, and it happens. I think
Charlie's enjoying, huh?
Yeah, no, of course. There was one day when it dawned on me what this gap is. That day was not a long time ago. I'm talking this week, right? Because I think we're all on this journey to trust ourselves, really. But I'll tell you why I say that. I would say intention alone is not enough, right? Belief alone is not enough. These things will help. Passion alone is not enough, Sarah. We'll talk about this when I said to you, I'll answer you here. The simple reason is this: when the going gets tough, like Topolova said, in the hard times, the challenges, we suddenly lose all faith. We lose all belief. We suddenly go back to square one. I always give the example of almost everyone I know will say to you on the first of the month, I'm gonna make it this month. I'm gonna make 10 grand. I'm gonna make, right? And then you're like, okay, excellent. Let's say it then, right? And then by the 5th, they're thinking, By the 10th, they're really umming now, right? By the 15th, they're like, oh, I would do it if only the sky was green. If only something wasn't the way it is, right? I would do it if I had more money, if I had more staff, if I had more time. By the 20th, their belief is out the window. They because they've had no new customers. They're like, I'll try again next month. Belief dead. Intention out the window. Right? So intention alone can't take you there. Belief alone can't take you there. Even if we go down the road of motivation, I'm trying to give the rest of you on stage something to add to the conversation, because the Tobelebo covered many things, even the spiritual angle as well, right? What are we missing? Is what I'm asking you. What are we missing? Zara, what are we missing? You're on mute. Zara, you muted yourself.
We before this conversation, I was the first one like backing up Annie all the time, and I'm on a mission actually to do something for my family, and there is no other way around. Being an entrepreneur, if somebody don't understand entrepreneurship, they should understand friendship, then ownership. They should understand. They should go for that. If it's very hard for them to understand entrepreneurship, fine. But when there is no other choice left, then you go for it, and you actually you build that system, and you start working on yourself to start changing yourself, because to 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 be there where you really wanted to be, and to actually start supporting yourself first, support the people around you. And it's only possible when you're in action. Without action, you cannot create that vibe which is needed. Love or passion. Okay, I've seen some teachers. I met some teachers. They said passion was not what they didn't feel the teaching was not their passion. But when they started teaching students, they saw some students, they mentored them, and later at some point of life, that turned into into their passion, but that turned into a purpose of their life, to start mentoring students in the universities. Okay, so passion was not enough to keep it moving, but when they saw that positive love, care, change in the students, they made it a purpose in life. And before this conversation, I was telling Annie, and I love to have these conversations, because we are connecting the dots now. And I believe like the more conversations we are going to have, we are going to be more, connecting the dots. But circling back, before this conversation, Annie and me, we were like, I was asking Annie, do you love what you do? Yes, Zara, yes, I love what I do. Okay. So I said, I was telling him the story that now the whole Pakistan is going to apply for this. you know, People from the villages and everywhere. But I'm so confident. I mean, okay, I'm going to be selected for this. What I'm talking about, Annie, right? Everestpreneur and Katipreneur. But see, taking action. Okay, I know this guy. He's from that company. Why not, Zara? You should like, maybe this is a golden chance because he knows you and he's your first connection here on the LinkedIn. Send him your interview because you already have a picture with him. You asked him several questions in the university. Maybe this CEO, this tech giant, he's one of the tech giant here. Maybe you can get selected and they take you and you start preparing yourself for that fitness that is required to go on to that top of Everest. Because you were not Sarar, you were not selected for K2. I was rejected for the K2. But now Osman knows you. Now this team is going to take 12 more people to the Everest. So Zarar, are you ready for that? Why do you want to do this? Actually, I'm doing this for my late father, to make my parents, to be proud of myself, regardless of all my entrepreneurship journey that I'm selling beauty products and well-being products. But if I get a chance to save lives, like I said you in the last conversation, okay, one guy, everybody else was in namaz, okay, on last Friday. One guy, he saw that suicide bomber coming in. He ran towards him. He took him out of the Imam Barga and saved 900 more lives, though 30 lives were lost. Okay. So we, you, I'm connecting everything, right? Last conversations. So what if last year I was not qualified for K2 and they made that movie Perzarar? Now you know this guy, you are into this entrepreneurship journey, you have started your startup, they are watching your journey on the LinkedIn. Zarar, go for it. So if beside everything, okay, I want to make my late father proud of myself. My BB, Ma, she's sitting, she's there. Okay, if I can go with this team, and if I go on that top and come back, it will be a blockbuster. So that belief that I can do this, and then preparing myself if I get shortlisted, it will be a blow. It will be something that I have to really work on my fitness, because average, even K2 is not easy. These guys, Usman Asif and the team, when you see that documentary, that shows their strength, that shows their training, because it's very, that top is very scary. And think about Everest now. So you need that fitness. You need that more than trust and belief, because people, they get exhausted. It's hours and hours of hiking, days and days, strong weather, many things. So everything else, love, passion, faith, everything, you have to keep it on the side sometime. And sometimes there is something else, some other spirituality that takes you there on the top. That support of that creator who is more than willpower sometimes. Yeah, any. So it's intentional, yes, but more than something. Martha see wanted to work on her fitness, and she started working out, and now every day she's putting on pictures, videos, showing her transformation. That's one way. I mean, she knows that she can do it. And with her small little shares, people are following her up. And there are so many people who who are learning from this journey when you share. And then they create opportunities and check you whether are you really serious about it. So when your intentions, if you are authentic, people will create opportunities for you. Now, if you still keep on hiding, the opportunities will pass by. But again, what is it required? I mean, is it love, passion, especially when you are into entrepreneurship, or when you're like that guy who saved 600, 800 more lives by by taking that bomber out, okay, and saving so many others, or um, or is it like you wanted to make your parents proud of who you are, your nephew and your nieces, your families around you, to be proud of yourself? So sometimes um, it's just one action, it's just one chance. You have been given a chance of 3 minutes, okay, to pitch something like that. But then some people, they become heroes with that willpower that keeps on that helps them keep on moving. And believe me, when I was watching these journeys of hiking, it was very intense, especially that cold weather and that trainings they all have to go through. And these adventures really helps you find out your purpose in life. And if you're doing this for your family, I think to make them proud of you, who we are, I think, or this is the beautiful thing we can do. I mean, at least we have a purpose. Yeah, I want to make someone proud of me. My late father, okay, my mother, my nephew, my nieces. If I can do this, they will be proud of me and will quote me as an example. Okay, my chachu really worked hard. He did this, he did that. He was burning oil in the midnight and he was applying everywhere where there was an opportunity. Sometimes it's like a having a bigger purpose in life, because passion alone is not enough. Love alone is not enough. So some bigger purpose. Yeah, Annie.
I laugh, Zara. You have mentioned the answer in a way in what you said. I would say, I'll hold on to it for now. I'll hold on to that. But you mentioned many things like Double Over did, right? I said, of course, I love your point about willpower. Again, let me be clear, my friend. Willpower is good. Willpower is great. You set a goal. You're excited. I want to write a book. I'm going to do this. But you know that most goals, most intentions die as a fantasy, right? I'm sure you all know this. Marsha and Olivia, I'm coming to you now, right? So willpower alone is not enough. It might last a week. Again, like Tabaloba said, on the good days, damn, you have willpower, you have motivation, you have to drive. On the bad days, willpower goes out the window.
Well, rejection rocket is like, the rocket of rejection.
Yeah, so willpower, it fails fundamentally somewhere. Whether it's rejection, whether it's tiredness, whether it's laziness, procrastination, call it what you like. But willpower is not enough on its own. But the answer is there. Hint, his friend who's posting pictures. There's something there. There's something that that person's doing that gives us half the answer today on how we get to trust ourselves. Welcome, Sir Stanley. How are you doing? Long day for you, long day for me, right?
Yeah. I was hoping I could make it.
No, you're here, my friend. I said we're just going through how do we trust ourselves. I said, in fact, I say intention's not enough, love is not enough, willpower is not enough, motivation is not enough. What are we missing is the question I'm asking. Let me talk to the ladies, and then I'll come to you, my friend. I'll come to you. At Marsha Alevine, who wants to go first? I don't know who came up first, so that's why I'm asking you. So whoever unmutes first can share with us. Please do. Okay. Do I have to choose one? Okay.
I'm here.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it, my friend.
Yeah, well, it's such a pleasure to be here with you guys. It reminds me of our old times back in the days when we had the audio rooms. So this is such a joy to see you guys, each of you. I haven't had the opportunity to meet the young lady on stage, but the gentleman's here. I've had the opportunity to meet with each of you, and all of you have inspired me in many ways. I know a couple weeks, maybe months ago, I had met with Toli Boba, and I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name because I can't see your name on the screen now. But when we met, I was not in a good place. and he was just so positive and just such I left that call just feeling so uplifted, and I don't even think he knows that he did that to me in that very moment. So I really want to thank you here out loud, just for your words that day, because I went through a mental health breakdown not long ago, and just speaking with you that day was a real nice way to get moving forward. um and any of course, I absolutely adore you, and you always have uplifted me and kept it real too. So you've called me out on some things, and I really appreciate you for that too. Zarar, I know we just met recently, and we had a conversation going back and forth,
Yeah.
and it wasn't looking good. And if I came off kind of weird to you, I do
No, no, no.
apologize. But
No, no,
I
no.
came, and I'm trying to support you in the best way that I know how. And I appreciate that
Very
conversation
lovely.
we had going back and forth,
Oh, no.
because at the end of the day, you are my friend, and
Always.
we are in a good place. So thank you. And I
Yes,
met
sir.
with Stanley yesterday, and we had a great conversation about the power of the power thinking. And we had a lot in common, because I spoke to him about what happened with my mental health, and then, just what he was sharing yesterday. There was so much that I resonated when it comes to the unhoused community, when it comes to us, when it comes to our negative mindset. If we grew up in poverty, if we grew up with parents who were uneducated, or maybe they grew up in different country and their way of thinking is different. It was just a lot of wonderful things that we don't even think about how it affects us as adults. So I'm enjoying the conversation, and I know Zarar was tapping into health, and so that's where I'm at with the self-love and healthcare, and
Yeah.
just learning to love yourself,
Very lovely.
because nothing is going to work out around you until you start loving yourself and accepting yourself for who you are. And you don't have to prove anything to anyone. You just need to show yourself the grace, the joy, that you are okay, that you are accepted, and that you're loved. And if you don't believe that, then you're not connecting to the right people. So just wanted to share that.
No, I think it's an important message for sure, Marsha. And look, love yourself. I think trust yourself. They go together. Because if you don't trust yourself, now think what we're saying to ourselves every day. This is why this conversation is so important. And it goes into the health realm as well in that sense, right? When we don't trust ourselves, essentially, every day we say to ourselves, "I disappoint me. I always let myself down. I never follow through. When I always say I failed, I'm saying, these things cause us stress and they cause us more heartache, right? So I think, love yourself. I agree with you, Marsha. But so now, but let's talk about you and your, because I know you're on a big mission, and I think you might be a good one to talk to about the purpose element of all of this. Now, you have a big, say you got a big goal, you got a big purpose, helping the homeless. How is that working in terms of you trusting yourself? What is helping you to trust yourself as you do what you do, my friend?
Mhm. Yeah, that's a real interesting question, Annie, and thank you for asking. Coming back home and seeing people that I know out on the streets, it affected me internally in very negative ways. Uh, a couple people that I know, I reached out and I wanted to support them, and they declined my hand, and that's okay, because this person in particularly is on his journey. But every time I see this person on the streets, I'm not even going to say it doesn't bother me, because it does. I don't like seeing people that I know, anyone out on the streets. And we don't really talk about this, like the people in the social work. I don't hear them talking about this, the advocates, how it affects us internally. And, we got to find our tools that are going to work for us. And I didn't have tools any. I was just on the go, go, go until I had my mental health breakdown. And what I've learned on this journey is I've met people that have gone decades of living out on the streets, pointing the finger to everybody else about their problems and not looking at themselves. And that we are the key to all the issues that we want to point out to. And I heard someone in my comments said to me, you can't be the victim, And it's true. I have even said myself in the past that I was like, I didn't say these words, but I felt like a victim from my childhood, like it was robbed from me. But I had to come to this conclusion through therapy and, talking to myself and working out and just nurturing myself. Like, it's okay to let go of what happened in the past. I can't live what happened in the past. I have to move forward. But I was also going down this cycle, Annie, and it's so easy. And it can happen to anyone where you go down this negative cycle that can lead you to become unhoused because you get so sucked into it. It is so easy to fall down and stay down, but you have to just keep believing and not fighting, but believing in yourself. And I prayed, I did a lot of prayer, and I sought help to keep going because it is very easy to get down there.
Yeah, no, I like that. I think, so Stanley will definitely agree. Resilience, the bounce back ability is an important element in all of this, for sure. Now, thanks, Marsha. There's much for us to learn. It is about. I accept the love part. Now, of course, I definitely do as well. And the passion for what you do, right? Again, it's important. Let me remind you, Coach Ashif does say heart-centered, and being mind-centered are important in trusting ourselves. So this thing about trust, right? The definition of trust, it is that you wake up, you do the right things, and you progress naturally. My coach, Donna Martin, would say it has to be with ease, fun, and flow. Now, doing what we want to do, when we trust ourselves, it's almost easy. If it's not easy, we're going to stop doing it, or we're going to suffer. As Marsha said, our health is going to suffer, our relationships will suffer, our financials will suffer. Something that will suffer in many ways, right? The reality is this: we can achieve it all, do it all with ease. I would tell what we're trying to uncover, Alaveen and Stanley, is how do we do it with ease? How do we make this partnership between our will, what we want to do, in other words, and our mind work? That way it's easy. That's what trust is, right? That's a question to you two, my friends. Alaveen, I'll let you go first because you were here before Sir Stanley was. How do we trust ourselves? How do you trust yourself?
So, hello.
Whilst you talk, I'll be honest. Let me be honest. I have to run and turn my heating on. It's in the basement, so I have to go downstairs. I thought I turned it on before I came on, but I'm cold now. I'm not going to sit here cold. Please talk away.
I would like to give the floor to Mr. Stanley first. and hello. And after I will
Oh,
talk, if you don't mind.
it's
Yes.
so sweet of you.
So
You're
No,
so kind.
no, normally the man is doing like that.
Yeah, you're
The
so kind.
so Stanley, the mic is yours, my friend. You have the context, right? Please go for it.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Well, thank you, Levine and Martha. And Martha actually just joined us on our Power Thinking app. And so as I talk about, many of you have heard about what we've created with the app, and it does go back to being authentic and trusting oneself. I had a path of running other people's businesses and doing well with that. I was about 37 years old. I was the vice president of what is now Verizon. It was then called Bell Atlantic. In charge of, they brought me in to change the culture of the entire company. So as I listened to you talk about being authentic and going, with your heart, and I'll never forget when they showed me my office. I'm now, one of the highest level folks in the entire company, in charge of, like I said, changing the culture of the company. And when I looked at that office, I thought of it as a prison cell. It was just amazing. I mean, my salary was high, responsibilities great. I was one of the youngest to ever get that high. Because I came from like the cable industry, and I had knowledge of telephone because I was in telephone before. And yet, from that very first day, I didn't feel good about that because, I said, this is not what I was built to do. Even though I've done this for other companies, I had this dream back then of being able to help people. And I felt when I saw that office, I'm now in this, it's kind of this prison of doing what the corporation wants me to do, which was very different from what I felt that I was built to do. And I felt that I was built to make a difference in people's lives. And while they said, well, we want to help, we want you to change the culture of the company, it was seemingly consistent with what I'm about as a change agent. What I felt was that I really had to do it their way. I had to deal with all of the corporate bureaucracy, and it was something that I was not excited about. And so within a couple of years, I moved on to a smaller company. It was a music video channel that was in trouble called The Box, Video Jukebox Network. That was a competitor to MTV, and they were in trouble when we turned it around. But still, my sights were on two things. Number one, because this was the beginning of the internet when all of this was happening, was being able to leverage the technology, the new technology, to help people around the world. And it was years later that when I was making a choice as to whether to, run another company and then just go out and do what I am passionate about doing, what I felt good about, I started thinking about, okay, what does that look like? If I was to put together a vision board, what would that look like? And I actually did put together a vision board that had the globe, and it had all these people holding up the globe. And then there was a graphic I remember incorporating that had, a person leaping from one cliff to the other. And on one side, it was the letters I am. And then on the other side was the remaining letters that said possible. And it was a person leaping from the I am impossible to what is possible. I said, that is it. That is it. That's what I want to do. Help people to move from what they may think is impossible to what is possible. And that led to power thinking and what I'm doing today. And so for the past number of days, and I met with Martha yesterday, and I thank you so much, folks, for agreeing to meet with me. And I haven't done this for 5 years where I met with folks individually. And 5 years ago, it was by phone. And now it's through Zoom. And for this is my third week. And for 3 days, it's like back to back, meetings with people from all over the world. And it has been, absolutely amazing. I would encourage every one of you to invest the time to meet with your connections, face to face, and find out more about them and how you can be helpful to them. It was just invaluable. And so I'm living the dream now. This is my authentic self. It wasn't about, making all the money in the world because, I was in positions where, and I've done some things where, there were a lot of dollars involved. This has been the longest stretch of my journey because mental health wasn't something that was talked about 10 years ago when I acquired the company that had this material. But fortunately, I was able to pivot and do things from a financial standpoint, keeping things under control where this company that had failed, the company I acquired, it failed and investors pulled out, where I was able to fund it, and keep things really at a minimum so that when the world was ready to really talk about mental health in the way that we're talking about it now and authenticity, that we would be there. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity to share this. I don't think I've shared this in this way before. So thanks for bringing that up, and thanks Martha and others for for your contributions to the topic, and for Arlene for giving me the opportunity where I had to step up much faster than I thought I would need to. So thank you.
Genuine, super. He's legend, Sani. Legend.
Not me. Stanley's a legend. You're all legends. You really are.
No, he's a legend.
Thank you so much. Look, I think that I guess doing the right thing, following your dream, and I guess what aligns with you, I think, is what I take from what you're saying to Stanley, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I agree. You've all mentioned things that are important. I still think there's an easier answer to my question. How do you trust yourself? Zara got really close. Zara was there. Yeah. So I'll come back to that in a second. Let's hear from Alavine. How do you get to really trust yourself?
So first of all, I would like to say being self-authentic in business means being self-authentic in our personal life. The roots of being your authentic self in business are in the fact we can be authentic self in our private and personal life. That is the first thing. And I would mention something about what Martha said earlier about homeless people. For 10 years, I visited people who were homeless, okay? And throughout this journey, I let's say I've learned a lot about the process of why people go from, let's say, being a social people with a social status, home, etc. And so from that to being a homeless person. So there are a process, and I understand one thing, and you will understand why I am talking about that. Later, I helped some homeless people. Some of them were very rude to me, but one of them, someone that people said, Arvin, don't waste your time with him. He's been in the street for maybe 20 years. You will not be able to make him leave this street because we already tried everything. Okay. I can say that after 6 months of talking with him, having no more discussion, he left the road. Can you imagine that? He decided by himself to say, okay, I don't want to be a homeless person anymore. So that it is because, and a lot of my or colleagues told me about that. I think it is about my authentic, so my authenticity. Okay, I think it is about that because I was authentic with him. I didn't see maybe a trash, or maybe someone beneath me or above me. No, I just saw a human being. So when we want to help people when they are homeless, sometimes the time is not right, but sometimes maybe they interpret that we are there because we want to give them pity. And sometimes it is because of the way we have the way we have to look at them. It is not something we do intentionally, but the way we have this look, oh, I am suffering for you, oh, and you know, maybe for them it is about pity, and it could be for that they refuse to receive your help. And I'm talking in general. And you know, I stopped that when once I went outside with my team, and there was a lady, okay, and this night, instead of having maybe 5 homeless men, we had 40 to 50 men. And I was shocked because I knew they were not homeless. And later I understood something fundamental. And you know, it is not just about being authentic in your professional life. It is about being authentic in your core. You know, if you are not authentic deep inside from the bottom of your heart, in your professional life, in your business, it is very hard to find this authenticity. I'm a little bit emotional talking about that because it's still hurting me, because this young lady just was drugged, raped by this man, and it is disgusting because Red Cross should have rules to help women in this situation, but sometimes they don't apply them, and not because of the Red Cross. It is not Red Cross the problem. It is the people who volunteer there. And I want to make that clear because I don't want tomorrow that people said, "Oh, Arvin accused Red Cross." No, I am not accusing Red Cross because it is a good institution. It is a good association, and this association is doing as well as it is, okay. But some people, when they come inside, they destroy that and they don't apply the rules for their own reason. So now, how to trust others? I would say it is about following our intuition. You know, you will know if you have to do on the left or on the right when you just keep quiet and you listen to the whispers you have inside. Like that, you will know it is correct to go there or not. That is my answer to you. Thank you very much for listening.
Ooh. Ooh. Intuition. You're mute. You're mute. Annie, you're mute.
Mute. There's a round of applause button. I should start using that for everyone, but I'll do it for everyone, and then you lose his power. You know, so Alavina, I love that. So I'll come back to you in a second. Welcome, Jackie. I'm Jackie's show, Just Jacks. Is it a couple of weeks? No, it's a month from now, I think. Yeah, a month from now, pretty much. Do join. So do join us. And I don't know what, I said, Jackie is just so much energy. I don't know what I'm going to do. I have to liven up, right? I have to.
The other day I was asking Jackie, tell me, like, he says, I'm old school girl. Sarar, I do marketing 101. I do.
It's
like,
what
really?
works. But no, it's about personality. She's that personality for sure. So Stanley had to go. I don't want to be responsible for ending a marriage that's been going 42 years. No, I definitely don't. No, you're more than welcome to go, my friend. And I know we're back on the half to do join us for that one. We're talking about failure on the show. Sean, how are you doing? I'm glad you're here. Well, Sean's more here. It doesn't matter, right? How you doing, Sean? Sean, I can't believe, I can't believe I can't make anyone come and talk to us, right? I love to. I would love to hear Sean's idea, Sean's Sean's thoughts on our topic, because I guess his thing is we have to become, maybe as I've been saying, we have to become a different person to trust ourselves. Identity shift is what he calls it. Yeah, let that sink in for a second, right? We have to change. And I understand that. I think I interpret what he's saying in the sense that we have to go from telling ourselves, I don't know if I can do this, to truly saying to ourselves, I know I can do this. Of course I can. Of course I can. Because I've proved it to myself and I trust myself to do it. So that's a way of thinking, right? It's a way of being. And I said, Alavin's point, say literally being authentic. Yeah, of course, you want to be real to your core. You have to be real to your core. And otherwise, I suppose the dark nights will get you. The dark nights of the soul. They will capture you and they will tell you that this false self that you have is not going to work. Now, the dark nights of the soul, my friends, I said, we started off with that and said, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's the gremlins inside us that holds us back. We must tackle that gremlin. And everyone, we all know we've had those dark nights. The nights when we say to ourselves, can I really? Am I sure? Do I want to do this? What if I fail? We must defeat those dark nights of the soul. Otherwise, we can't trust ourselves. Because the dark nights of the soul makes us question ourselves, doubt ourselves. And it says to us very clearly, you can't do this. I would love for a coach to come and to tell us, how do we get rid of the dark nights of the soul? No, maybe I'll cover it. This topic is about what Alvin said. Changing who you are to your core, deep down. Deep down, again, deep down is what happens when no one's looking.
Is it like reasoning? Reasoning, Annie? Like,
God.
Is it something deep down when you say like?
Well, the dark nights of the soul.
Yeah.
So I'll show you a video in a second, right? I'll show you a video in a second. To explain. You and I did a search on YouTube. I found a video. I'll show you a few minutes of it. Let's see if it answers our question. But the dark nights, they're there. They happen to all of us, and that's why our best intentions don't always work. And as Annie says, as RuPaul will say, if you can't love yourself, then who will love you back? Thank you, Annie. Oh, I found Miss Angelica. She's alive. That's so cheered me up. I've been badgering her and saying, where are you? How are you? Come to my event. But she's here. How are you, Miss Angelica? Where are you hiding? Anyway, we need to do a light up your life from next week. Next week, Wednesday. Because I want to talk about this thing about people who go to rooms all day, every day. I want to understand where they're coming from, because I just want to understand, right? it's a question I've asked myself. So I want to ask the people who actually do it. I want to talk to the Kennys of this world, the mirrors of this world, like the people who actually go to rooms all day, every day. You know, that's not most of us. I go to rooms all day, every day. We go to rooms a lot. Don't get me wrong, but we don't go. There's a reason why people go every day, all day. Is it entertainment? Is it education? Is it networking? What is it? Miss Angelica, let's talk about it with our friends. My friend Alice, I'm so glad you're here, my LinkedIn twin. Well, you don't do shows anymore. You know, our genetic relationship is going to get ruptured sometime, right? You have to go back to doing shows. Rita, welcome. I know it's early morning where you are for sure. So glad you're here. Have I missed anyone out? Hopefully not. I'm scrolling through very quickly. There's some good comments in there. I'll come back to those a good time. So Michael, I saw you earlier. How you doing, Michael? So thank you for joining us. Taylan, you're here. Taylan says, in my humble opinion, partnerships improve willpower. So having the collaborations, partnership, and having others to be accountable to. Or at least, having those who ask a question, have you done your bit? You know, they're the ones that make you get off the sofa and turn off the TV. It's true. Look, many things come into this picture, right? You know, but I still think we're overcomplicating self-trust. I shall explain why in a few minutes. And so, of course, I want to hear what Cyrus has to say. So, Annie says, where there's a will, there's a way. True, right? You know, it's true, but a will won't get you through the dark days. I mean, how many of you here will say you haven't got the will? We all have the will, right? But some days we just don't feel like it. I don't have any of those because every day I have to do what I have to do, right? But many people will fall off. The will is not enough. The will is useful. It helps on the good days. It's the bad days that the will falls down because I just don't feel like it. Then what? What happens then? Nothing happens, right? And then one day becomes 2. 2 days becomes 3 days that you haven't done. Then suddenly you're back to square one. Some just give up, full stop, right? Kenny, I see you. Kenny, I've got videos to send to you. Yeah, what? It's a picture of video. Yeah, it seems like you have a shop in my local area, Kenny. I'll send you the video so you can see it for yourself, so you know what I'm talking about. So Mike, welcome. Great to see you as always. Thank you so much for joining us. And he loves Zara. So Zara, yeah, I see that.
Mike को बोलो ऊपर आ जाए, Mike को stage पे बुलाओ. Bring him on the stage.
Yeah. No, because he's a great. That's why.
Great.
Let's talk to Cyrus, and then say. I want to make my points, and then see what you think, and then we can begin to think about leaving. I don't want to keep you too long today, for sure. Mr. Cyrus, welcome. Sorry to keep you waiting. Now you fell off the stage once, but you're here. How are you doing?
Hi, Annie. Hi, everybody. It's okay, Annie. Brits are used to queuing up for everything. So
you're queuing. Oh, okay. You mean waiting? Okay. I thought you were in the shop. I'm like, yeah, I feel bad now. Go, please. Right. Now, look. So, now, the question we're talking about, just to remind you quick, is this interface between our will and our mind. That's what trust is, right? The two must work for us to trust ourselves. You agree?
He's mute.
Yes, I agree. Before I answer the question, I just want to thank everybody who just shared and added to what I know. I'm grateful. Thank you. It is such a broad topic, and it is difficult to niche down and do the topic justice with in a few minutes, but I'll try my best. So, in the 30s, someone wrote a book. It's called Think and Grow Rich, right? And it is one of those books that many coaches shove down your throat as soon as you say, I don't believe in myself, or I have belief problems, I need a new belief system, and I believe I can, I don't know, fly or whatever. I have belief in myself, I don't have belief in myself. So whenever, so the decades after that book was published, whenever you said something, the answer was, oh, Think and Grow Rich. Or all other books that were like iterations of the same concept. So people reshaped that book and published it. So that's the top and bottom of it, really. So that mentality that you see in self-development books these days is the copy-paste, maybe a little bit changed version of that concept. It is a concept that worked. Past tense, work. Right now, it's a novelty. It doesn't work anymore. So back then, when the book was published, in order to succeed, you needed to believe in yourself. But right now, in today's world, I know people who don't believe in themselves, but they are making thousands every day. So the moment you disconnect that cable, the moment you learn to put your beliefs in one box and put your business in another, or your relationship in another, right, is the moment you will make it. Okay, so belief usually is something disruptive. It's not something that works in your favor. Beliefs, because there are limiting mentality kind of frameworks, usually they are disruptive and they stop you or slow you down. So you might argue, well, I believe that I can. What if I believe I can make millions? Well, I believe there's no weed in my back garden, and I just 2 hours ago I went back there and there was so much weed in there, just beyond belief, right? So what you believe, it's not going to change your life. What you do as a result of that belief does. Okay, so as they say, wishes don't wash dishes. Okay, so what kind of actions are you taking is what is gonna be the vehicle that's gonna take you or not take you to the destination that you're trying to go. When the likes of Think and Grow Rich was written, nobody cared about clarity, signal, consistency, distribution, monetization, things that is applicable to today's life, right? So that's one of the reasons why I'm developing a system called Think and Grow Niche. So the niche that you have is a type of business that you are developing. So what kind of people are going to be serving? Okay, so today's world is the world of service. Okay, you can believe in yourself, you can lack belief in yourself, you can be suffering with believing in yourself or not believing in yourself. Remember, I use the word suffering because most of the suffering that we have sometimes is because of the false beliefs that we have, limiting or otherwise. So there is a gap between the things you can do and the things you believe you can do, or the things you want to do, right? So I know a lot of people who want to create a live event, just like this one. Which one do you think I can go and attend? Which one do you think we can go attend? The one that somebody wants to create, or the one that somebody decided to create and actually created, which is this one, right? So we are here because somebody made the decision. Eni Osong made a decision. He thought to himself one day, on a glorious morning, he woke up and said, okay, I'm going to revolutionize my business and my lifestyle. Bam. His lifestyle changed. But it took a while before it came into fruition. Okay. So the point of origin was when he decided to do it. Okay. So decision is important. Okay. So one of those gaps that you were talking about, Annie, one of those gap fillers is this power of decision. You have to decide to do it. Another is actually doing it. The one after that is doing it consistently. You got to turn up for people, and guess what? People will turn up for you. Why is it that everyone comes to Enyi Osang and learns something and goes away and then comes back again? Why? Because he has consistently showed us that he will turn up for us and bring like-minded people and people who know well enough to share to the show. So why is it that I come to this show? Because I learn from it. Otherwise, I would go and do other stuff, right? So I come to this show because I enjoy learning, and this is one of those learning hubs that exists on LinkedIn, and I love it for that reason, right? Because people who come to this show, they know more than I do. Therefore, I come to this show to learn. Okay, so always, if you're the smartest guy in the room, smartest girl in the room, you're in the wrong room. Okay, so you always need to go to the rooms where people are smarter than you. This is why I'm here. Everybody here knows more than I do. That's why I find things in people to add to me. That's why I'm here. And the difference between people who are making money out of their business, regardless of beliefs, people who make money out of their business and people who believe they can make money out of their business is that think and grow rich mentality and think and grow niche mentality. Niche is a type of business that you can narrow down, and the type of a cohort that you can narrow down and serve. That's your niche, basically. So, as an example, Enyi's niche is predominantly mostly educated people who have a business, who needs improvement, or it is a startup, or a kind of book. Some sort of book is involved that people want to write. So that is his niche, right? So find your niche. And as they say, riches are in the niches. So if you started something, there's probably nothing wrong with your belief system. You're a fantastic person, more than likely. But if you haven't achieved what you're after, maybe you're serving the wrong people. Maybe you're serving everyone. When you're serving everyone, you're not serving anybody, really. When you're serving everybody, you're not serving anybody. So you need to narrow it down to the market that you want to serve. Then people find out about it, then they will join you. They will follow you, they join you, they will share you. That's what's going to happen for you. As long as you change that mentality of I have belief, I don't have belief. Forget about I have belief in myself or I don't have belief in myself. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it, right? If it came through to your mind, you are capable of doing it. I promise you. Okay, so all you need to do is just forget about not believing in yourself. Forget about the fact that you perhaps sometimes tell yourself, I can't do it, I can't do it. Mind is a pattern recognition machine. Okay, so it tells you what is lacking. It's its job to tell you that, because its job is to keep you safe. Okay, your mind's job is not to keep you happy and content. Your mind's job is to keep you safe. And self-preservation happens through your mind, through your brain. So it's your job to dictate. It's your job to tell your brain, I believe in myself. I conceived it, so I can achieve it. Okay. So that's basically the top and bottom of my message today. I'm sorry I spoke too much. Thanks for listening.
Offering transformation.
I was busy trying to cue what I want to show you next. I like that you've hit many of the points, Cyrus, right? It starts with the decision, and the issue really is the gap between the want, in other words, the will. That's what that is really. I want to do this, and yes, I'm keen to do it, and then actually doing it. I don't know. I don't know whether the mind is the want bit, but I think
Enyi, I just wanted to say because we feel alone sometimes. People who are ahead of the curve, and people are ahead of the rest of the society, and they have created something. I don't know. They want to create something. They have created something. They are different. Okay, when you
I don't know.
And you look around and there's nobody there.
I'm not sure.
Because you're ahead of everybody.
Are they? I don't think they are. I think you mentioned your friend or the people that you know who we all know them. We all know someone who is. They haven't. No, they don't believe. They don't work too hard, but they achieve great success.
No. I just wanted to say, if you feel alone in what you're doing, right? Maybe you've arrived first. Okay, maybe not many people are doing the same thing you're doing. Right? Don't write it off. Just give it some time.
Yeah, no. For sure. But I think I guess the issue of trusting yourself, again, is knowing that tomorrow morning you're gonna wake up and do the right thing and make progress naturally. All the things everyone mentioned come into it: passion, motivation, drive. Zara talks about now. I guess making the people around you proud. I think your point, Cyrus, gets close to where we need to get to. Consistency. Here's the reality, my friend. I think I wish someone had told me this years ago. I wish I didn't learn this at 51 3/4. No, really, right? Yeah, but I've read the books and I guess it's been there all the time. So Cyrus, you talk about a belief system. So right, you mentioned the power of beliefs, right? No, you mentioned the system. This conversation is about the system. You trust yourself because you create a system.
It's duplicable.
Yes, a system that tells your brain, don't panic. You haven't even got to decide because the decisions have already been made for us, right? By us. Hence, your mind and your will are aligned. So here's what happens. Stop me if I'm wrong. Those in the comment and in the audience as well. Do you have a morning routine when you get up? Do you have a routine when you brush your teeth? No. Yes or no? Yes or no? Go.
Oh yes.
All of us, we work on routines. We brush our teeth pretty much the same time, the same way every day, right? We have lunch at the same time every day. If we don't have lunch, then we don't have lunch any day, pretty much. Maybe some on a rare occasion, right? But all of us have routines. What if I told you that those routines, we do them without thinking?
Yeah.
We do them without question, without asking ourselves, how do I feel today? Do I feel like brushing my teeth? Do I feel like having lunch? Do I feel like putting my trainers on, my shoes on the same way that I've done for the last 10 years? We'll never ask the question. We just get on with it, right? Because we now have a routine for putting our shoes on. We have a routine for how we carry our bag. We have a routine for how we do everything. Right? Here's my point. We need a routine for the things that are important to us. Think of that for a second. We need a routine for everything in our lives, right? So here's what I've learned. When we wake up in the morning, these days, Cyrus mentioned that the times they have changed, right? They have changed. When we wake up in the morning, the first thing we do is grab our phone, look at it, and see what. And I don't know, we just look at it like idiots. Pointless exercise, right? How about we stop doing that?
Any fasting is coming, and we are saying everybody, all the youth here, please this time do some digital fasting also.
Yes, look. So we've created a bad habit, a routine of looking at our phones every day. When our phone pings, we don't even think. We just reach out for it and pick it up and go again. I'm saying this is not a phone problem. This is the fact that we are creating routines every moment of our lives. Those routines tell our brain, if this, do that. And every time our brain does exactly that, whether we want to do it or not. This is how you trust yourself, my friends, right? You create a routine that becomes automatic, easy. Now, let me give you an example. Let's say, again, I'm human, right? I've done what I do for years. It takes great effort, real effort, really effort. And it's not just effort, it takes time. I've said this before. Many of you see me around, alive, available at all times, all hours, right? All day, all night. I'm not really. I'm available from half day to next morning, right? I tend to sleep in the morning, like Zoran and I got to do today, right? But I've just learned that you can get your day done in 4 hours. Think of that. 4 hours. I'll get my day done. You can do the same, my friends. The way I can get my day done in 4 hours is simply by creating a routine of the things that are important to me, my goals, the things I want to achieve, right? So, make a list of the things that are important to you. What are they? All right, here's what's important to me. First thing, my morning routine, my meditation, brush teeth, meditation, tea, right? Start there.
I start nowadays, and my routine is like a little bit different, because
right. I think you have to create clarity in what's important to you. You have to be very clear. And you have to be, all the things we talk about, it has to be aligned with you. You have to want to do it. You have to have a passion and all that stuff, right? Love for it, love for people, all those things, right? But it starts with identifying what is the one thing that I have to do every day, right? And you know what? Start with that, right? So you start with that. Once I've done my morning routine, once I've done my meditation and my gratitude and all that stuff, right? Whatever that means. Now, today I was sending invites to my event. I was creating my promo video, and setting events up, right? So that's my first 2 hours. Third hour, client number 1. Fourth hour, client number 2. And it typically is work on their books. Guess what, my friends? Every day I do those 4 things, my day is done. And all I'm doing is giving each person, I'm giving each thing I have to do an hour. That's all you can do it for 10 minutes, because you might have to start with 10 minutes. Create a routine that is simple, basic, uncomplicated, and maybe one that you might actually enjoy doing. One that you might actually say to yourself, you know what? I feel so good because I've done my 4 things in my day. I do. So tomorrow morning I'm going to do those same 4 things again. Every day, just follow the routine. Don't think, just do the routine. It's not this is what successful people do. It's what athletes do. Athletes don't think, oh, am I going to train today? They know what the routine is. Well, even if on Monday I do sprints, on Tuesday I do, are you with me? But more than they know what they're going. Those who achieve trust themselves to do it because they do it every day. They show up. We have to make our lives the same as the way we put our shoes on. We don't think, we just put our shoes on. Like we think. I bet everyone here thinks you put your shoes on differently every day. You don't. No, you start noticing. Start paying attention. You put your shoes on the same way, the same foot first every time. Imagine if you can make your business, your goals the same way. You plan the steps, and every day you take those steps. It's you were talking about K2 earlier, and climbing the mountains around. This is where I thought Zara is really close, right? You know, unless you're gonna have a routine to get really fit, you're never gonna. No, that's just a dream. You accept this, right?
What if? I'll circle back to what if. Okay, what if I apply today? Okay, I'm doing my startup and everything, and I already have those 17 marketplaces, and I have to build my downlines. I have to take this routine. I have to reach out to people. I have to show up with Annie. I have to show up.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know, I
yeah,
have to
yeah.
talk with people. So having that one step and then scheduling everything. Okay, where can I get the leads from? TikTok? Nay, the TikTok ones are very weak. Why not just looking for the people I've connected last year here in Pakistan and the people I know across borders? Because now we have US market open, UK market open, this market open, this market open, open, open. What can we
Mm.
do? There's a mentor behind that who's mentoring you. The point is.
It's a fair question. Look, all you've just done there is cause your mind, your brain, your soul chaos. Because your brain is not asking, what the F am I going to start with? Where am I going? What am I going to do today? Take away that question by telling your brain, when I get up, I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go on LinkedIn. I'm going to go on Facebook. I'm going to go on TikTok, for example, right? Well, then you say you're going to do it for an hour or 10 minutes. I'm saying do those 3 things over and over and over. Each day you do it, you're going to get faster. You're going to get better. And each day, when you actually do it, your brain will go, thank you. I know what I'm doing. I'm in control. There's no chaos. There's no decision to make. And all you see is progress every day. Tomorrow, your brain will say, let's do it again. Because it knows it knows what it's doing, right? Would I do this? I do that. I do that. That's how we build trust.
I have to put WhatsApp status. I have to do this. I have to go, somebody telling you and guiding you. And when I get, demotivated, then I need that person. Okay. Nobody else can put me on the track. This is so true.
That's when you have your routine, you don't need anyone to tell you what to do because you know what to do. It's written down. It's set in stone. You don't need anyone to tell you. Okay. When someone comes to talk to you, like, no, I know what I'm doing. Leave me alone. Because this is what I do every day. Now, the successful people, they break their day down to 15 minutes, half an hour, chunks. You might think that's not a lot of time to get things done. Let me tell you.
Yeah. I was going to add something to that, Annie, if I may, please.
Oh, please. Yeah, please.
So there's something I learned from a really good mentor who told me, you never raise to the level of your dreams or standards. You fall to the level of your systems. So, so as an example, what system have you got for your social media? Some people say, okay, I'll go to every single social media outlet and update my daily updates. Some people say, no. I am paying a monthly fee for this platform. And when I do it once, it gets distributed to all of my channels, right? So as an example, you are distributing your live to YouTube, to LinkedIn, etc., etc. So this is your system. So your level of progress, you always fall to the level of your systems. Okay, so you never raise to your level of your aspirations or your dreams.
Look, I feel when we talk about systems, automation is one thing for sure. I remember when I started looking at systems, I sat there and I thought, you're in a place now where you have to grow. My business is getting more successful. I'm getting more work than ever before. I'm getting more revenue. So I need to grow.
Blessings.
In a way that's sustainable. And now, really, blessings are serious. Now I'm like, wow, this is I can actually begin to plan my growth, right? I need systems. I need tools. I need tech. I know what. And I was looking for a CRM. I was looking for stuff like that. And as you're saying, Cyrus, right, the right tools to help me do more. And then so what I found is that systems is not about tools; it's about you and your routines. That's the system. The tools will help, but you are the first part of the system. If you haven't got
we don't fancy tools. We focus matters most.
yes, exactly that. No, that's exactly the point, Zara. It's what we choose to focus on every day that will make us or break us. Think of that. Atomic habits. Essentially, that's what I just told you is what it's saying. You break your day down to a small chunks, simple chunks. What do you need to do? What do you really want to do? Put that on the list, right? Start with that. And then what comes next? Look, here's we know what happens. Someone that generally comes and so everyone sits there and says, I want to get fitter. Unclear goal. You need more clarity than that, right? What do you want to do? Run faster? Lose weight? What? Jump high? What do you want to do, right? If we just say, I'm going to go to the gym. Okay, great. Okay, which gym? Why? How long for? When? And what you got to do is set a day and set a time to go to the gym, right? And don't make the common mistake, which I'm going to go to the gym for 6 hours every day. You're not. On a good day, you might, when you got nothing doing. Like when you get a job like you're saying, Zara, you can't go to the gym for 6 hours. You got work to do. When lives, when the family, something goes wrong with the family, what are you going to do? You can't go to the gym for 6 hours, right? And what happens to all of us is that when anything goes wrong, we tell ourselves, I can't trust myself. Whereas when you break your day down to simple steps, every time you take a step, like I say, every time I wake up and do my meditation, I say to myself, I follow my routine every day. And the brain goes, oh, we did well today, didn't we? That's the dopamine hit. Rather than looking at my phone, the doing of your routine becomes your joy. It becomes what gives you reward in your soul. Tomorrow your heart will say to you, let's do it again. Let's do it. I want to feel that joy again. Let's do it again. This is so simple. It's fundamental. I so wish I'd learned this.
And you never know, and you never know who's listening in the audience, right?
Oh well, it's not really nice. This is about me, and there's many reasons I do what I do. Right. One reason is that I truly believe you only learn something when you can tell other people about it. Because to come and sit here in front of you today, I had to read several books and make my notes. Right? That way, that's why I've learned the principle deeply. I haven't just learned it; I've had to live it.
The hero.
And look,
I would say the art of persuasion.
Yeah, well, part of what we have.
I felt that in the last segment.
Yeah, no, it's part of what we have to do. But my friends, trusting yourself is simply doing the same thing consistently, and then taking the bits in between to tell your soul, I like doing this. I'm going to do it again tomorrow, no matter how I feel. Even if whether I like it or not, whether it's a good day or not, even whether there's chaos around me, I'm going to do this. And maybe some days, when you start, let's be honest, when you start, you're not going to get through your routine. You're not, right? The important thing is to show up for the first one. So my meditation every day, I do that every day now, right? And every time I do that, I celebrate at least inside, right? Do I do my hour on a business? Of course I do. Even when my builder men are going crazy, I need this, I need that. You have to do this, I can do that and then come back to it because I've only got to do an hour of my business work, right? So most days I get through 1 and 2.
You're circling back to your business as an ecosystem.
Yeah, but just work it, my friend. No, this is not rocket science. The coaches know they know what I'm talking about. They must do, right? Because this is what they know we must be doing, right? Just create the habits. Make your goal tasks your habit. Not just a habit. It's the thing you do every day without question. To do that, you have to break it down. You break your task down to very simple things. If you say you're going to go to the gym, your brain will say to you, "Oh, I don't feel like it today." But you say to the gym, you say to your brain, I've got my trainers on. Let's go. Because your trainers then become the cue that we're going to the gym, right? People try different tricks. Now, there's someone There's someone I know who will call a cab to go to the gym. As soon as she's called a cab, you can't cancel it, can you? Because the cab's coming now. She's going to the gym, whether she likes it or not. She hasn't got to go to the gym and spend 6 hours there. She goes to the gym for 10 minutes today. It's a good thing because now she told her brain, we're going to the gym, whether you like it or not, right? Tomorrow, if she does that again, she might actually go in and actually do some exercise, or maybe just look around. On day 3, do it again. Now your brain's like, we're here, might as well do some exercise while we're here, right? Well, you might just do a couple of minutes. By day 5, you exercise, and that's how you get your weight loss and your fitness, because you're showing up at the gym every day. It's not always going to be easy, but in the end, you're going to develop a routine of going to the gym. That's how you're going to go to the gym every day. Not the way people do it now, which is, I'm going to go gym this year. Let me pay for it. I'm going to go 6 times a week for 3 hours each time. You're not. Just create a routine of just going to the gym. First for a few minutes, and then a few more minutes, and a few more minutes, and then start doing. My friend, creating this simple system is how you get to trust yourself. Because each time you do this, your brain goes, yeah, we always do what we say we're going to do. Look at the results. We're making progress. When I say it can be easy, this is what makes it easy. Because there's nothing I've said so far is stressful. You're just showing up, doing what you say you do, at least starting. If your brain says, I don't really want to do it today, at least you showed up, right? Show up again tomorrow. Your brain might say, I do. Okay, we're here. Might as well just get on with it. Within a month, you're flying. And this thing that you're now doing is no longer a chore. It's no longer a, do I feel good? Do I want to do this? You're going to do it anyway because it's your routine. This is the system that we need to create. I'd love to know your thoughts. Now, Levine, Cyrus, I said I'll give you the secret. I'm just giving you the secret. What do you think? Levine, let's come to you first.
I think if you use this word, I will.
You were muted, but we can't hear you. I don't know why.
She's
Okay.
unmuted.
Okay.
Yeah, I can hear her. I can hear her.
I can't. Really? You can?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I can now.
Yeah, I can hear Olivin. Yes.
And now, can you hear me, Annie?
I can hear you perfectly now. Yeah, I can hear. I couldn't hear a word at all. I can hear you now.
Okay. So I was saying that if you use this word routine, you would make me run away because I am unable to follow any routine. That's me. But if you use the word consistency, I will be able to follow it because for me, consistency means no matter what. But before 6 p.m., I will do this. I will do it, but I don't want a routine with
it can't be before right. No, sorry if I interrupt. I'm sorry if I interrupt you. I just want to clarify.
Yes,
Look,
go ahead.
let's be very clear. Achieving our goal is it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, right?
Yeah.
So you might as well plan for a long and boring process. The boringness is a routine, repetition. That's consistency. Call it what you like, right? But it's not, but you need to have a routine. You have to carry on repeating the same things over and over and over. That's where success comes from. I'm not going to hide it. That's the truth. If you're not willing to do boring, success will be very, very hard to achieve.
And for that, I do agree. I do agree with you. I do really agree with you about the fact we need to be willing to go for the boring stuff and repeating again and again. Because when I was learning English at the beginning, I had to repeat the same thing every day. It was like that because I couldn't speak in English. I had to learn it. I had to go through the grammar rules step by step. Thanks to my coach for that. But it was not just okay. I show up for my classes 2 or 3 hours per week. No, it was every day. I had to to repeat what I had learned in the previous class. Okay, I had to do that. And for me, it was not something very boring because I wanted to do it. I felt like, oh, I feel a real pressure for doing it because, with that, I would open doors for me eventually. But I need to see, let's say, to see where I will go with that. Not the exact destination. I'm not talking about the final goal, the end. No, but I'm talking about the fact I need to feel that it is something important, interesting, and something that I will be able to help others with, and also help myself with, and for example, with English, it was that repeating the same boring stuff. When I was at Red Cross, my pressure was to go for first aid. Okay, that was my pressure. So repeating the same classes, the same gestures, etc. It was quite a great pressure. If it's about repeating things but not at an exact time, I will agree with you because you talked about brushing our teeth every day, or eating lunch or dinner, whatever, every day. I do that every day, but never at the same time.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am sure because sometimes I wake up at noon, and sometimes so some of the day I woke up at 1, so PM. I'm talking about PM right now, and some of the day I woke up at 11 a.m. So because of my schedule of sleeping, okay, I do nothing exactly the same every day. So I will not say I don't have a routine in that sense. I will not say, oh, today I eat, tomorrow I don't eat, and after tomorrow no, I will not say that. No, because every day I eat. So for that, I have a routine. Every day I brush my teeth. So I have this routine. But
right.
it is
Hold
being
on.
consistent.
Okay. Let me clarify something very quickly.
Yes, go ahead.
I'd say I will bet my house that the space, the time between when you wake up and when you brush your teeth is the same, pretty similar gap every day, whatever time you wake up. Like I say, I'm like you, and I don't wake up at 9 o'clock every day. But I know what I'm doing for the first 4 hours, whatever time I wake up. It doesn't change. It is still my morning routine, and then hour in business, client 1 and client 2. Every day. Well, if I wake up at midnight, I'll still do the same thing. This morning I woke up. I said I did, my meditation and my goal setting and my gratitude and all that, my journal writing. Then I went back to sleep. And then when I woke up, I did my hour on the business, and then I did the other, and I did my client work, and then everything's done. Then I started doing events with Dr. Yvonne at 6:00 in the evening. I'm saying, the thing about having a routine, my friend, is that a routine doesn't constrain you. People think
if I'm going to sleep 5 a.m, what time I'm going to wake up?
Wake up whenever you like, as long as you know, as long as your brain knows what's your routine.
So this is having a beautiful thing about you having your own business and feeling like a business owner.
Yes.
Dress like a business owner. I show up like a business owner, right? Every day.
Yes.
And that's the beauty about it.
I think that it's realizing that a routine, it doesn't constrain you. It frees you, because it frees your brain from chaos. People stop doing stuff because their brain goes, "Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing today. I'm not sure I want to do this." Whereas when you have a clear routine, I can say this is what I use with Alovin, a clear schedule that you follow pretty much every day. Then your brain gets used to it. Your brain knows what's coming. Your brain says, "Yeah, I like this. Like, we got this. I did this yesterday. I can do it again today." It's when we have anxiety, uncertainty, fear, that's when our brain goes, "I'm not sure I want to do it today." And then when we don't do it today, our brain says, "Ooh, we did something else." So tomorrow your brain says, "I'm not sure I want to go back to doing that thing. I want to do something else." Now you've had 2 days now you've got 2 days of not following the actions to achieve your goal, right? Aloe vera juice, the gel.
The point is this packing. I mean, whenever I show people here this packaging, because in India and especially in Pakistan they have this packaging, and it looks so like a bottle of oil. But whatever is inside is like absolutely. They say, "Zara, what are you doing?" I'm like, because in Pakistan we have this packaging, and in the Europe, in the US, and everywhere they have that new packaging and pet packaging and all. But inside it's the same.
So what's your routine for your wellness, if you want to call it that, Zara?
The first thing in the morning, 40 ml, 20 ml. But it's so expensive, so I cannot do this every day. But you know what I do? I put more water inside. So, but then 40 ml in the morning and 40 ml before going to bed. It's expensive. Not everybody can afford it. But if you're doing it for your health and you're doing it at the same time building your own business and telling people, for those who are listening in the audience, right? Those who know what I'm doing, that these 200 bioactive compounds, when they really fall into your stomach, how does it really feel like, and what does it does to your body? The detox and the bacteria and everything, it takes it off. And when you have this routine, and then whatever things, like for example, if I'm using the toothpaste, I'm using their toothpaste. If I'm having my proteins, so I'm using their proteins. So having that 40 days of routine, consuming them, not just to talk about it, not just to sell it to people, but first to...
Yeah. I think you have to become the person who does that.
And then it's going to be about the business later. And that's what they're teaching me. Consume, don't be worried. Consume.
Yeah.
So
go on, please.
Having that routine of first to understand, what is this business all about? Because we are not doing this for no reason, right? We are doing this intentionally. to build something, to scale something. I have got like family. I'm a business owner, independent business owner. And if any brother is giving me a chance, hey Zara, go ahead, do anything what you want for your family. Come on, it's your bread and butter. I'm here for you. So now that trust of Annie in Zarar and Zarar before going to bed, trying to make sure that he shows up for Jackie's show, Felipe Cofino, whether this Annie, Leslie, Martha, any shows, he has to show up for his business. Although this is yellow bottle here in Pakistan, forget that packaging. Okay.
Again, so I imagine when you wake up and drink your first 40 milliliters, you don't think about that anymore. You just drink it. Well, obviously, it makes sense that you're going to sleep soon, so that's why you're having your nighttime shot without thinking twice. We need to get
first
out.
thing in the morning and the last thing in the morning, 40 ml, and then you will start feeling the changes in the next 5 days. Absolutely.
This is what I'm talking about. I'm saying that's just one thing that Zara is doing. I'm saying it puts your other things that you have to do on the similar schedule.
Yeah.
After my 40 ml, what comes next? Right? What comes next? Is it brush my teeth, or is it make do some LinkedIn marketing for the business? No, is it just work on the business? Stack your habits, stack your things that you're going to do every day, and just follow the steps, day by day. You get more done easily. And before I say in a few hours you'll be done. Your day, all your important things will be done. I saw a book one time, the 4 hour.
This is what we do. In the nutritional change system, the C9, the Clean 9. It's a 9 days program, which Anna Rahina, we everybody in our team, we do in the groups. Okay, we change the eating habits, and it's fully monitored, and with fitness trainers and everybody, and they buy the C9 program, and then we all do it together in the groups. But they are very professional, and they look out, they check all the meals, what you're taking, and then you have to record every day that how you're feeling, because for the first 2 days you simply don't have to eat anything. Okay, let me show you that if I have it here. If I could find it here. No, maybe somewhere else. It's a C9 whole book with lots of pages where there's a checklist that on the first day you have to eat this and you have to take this supplements. And what it does naturally, organically, you lose like 7 to 8 kilos of weight within 9 days. So it's very good for people who wanted to change their eating habits and many other things. And forever, it's like, it's very deep. It's MLM, multi-level.
Again, so I have time for MLM people because they often have the best businesses in that sense.
And the best products in the world.
Because everyone is keen to succeed.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way, right? Yes. They do they do relationship marketing. That's the best marketing there is. And they will follow the systems, the routine every day. Those who win, those who sell more, those who recruit more, those who build a real business tend to have to work. And just by creating a routine, they achieve their goals.
Yeah.
I can see. I can see.
So there's some pillars of programs and everything you have to follow and go with.
Yeah. Cyrus, you haven't spoken for a while.
I was learning. I was listening. And you asked a really important question.
Are you buying what I'm saying in terms of create small tasks, some small actions that you just repeat and repeat them, and the more you repeat them, the more your brain says I trust you.
Every morning.
So when you've sorry, please go ahead, Zara.
Like for example, every morning when I wake up, I take my protein, 1 scoop, in like and like 4 fingers of water, like that much water. Put in the blender some water with 1 scoop, and now I have to keep this in for next 40 days. Right?
How many days through it are you? How many days have you kept it up?
It's been like 6 days, my 6th day, which I'm continuing this one, and after this I have to continue with the next one, which is in the row. So it's once everything will be consumed, and only then I can really tell people the benefits, and you'll see that transformation happening, inshallah,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
we will be
no,
able to.
we will. And if you keep it up, I think we'll definitely see the transformation. And so there's something to be learned from your processor. You say they're very professional. Now they've done what we need to do to create and to follow our routines, right? It's very easy. You can see what Zara has to do is not complicated. It's easy. Drink a glass or they drink a glass. They're not saying drink 10 liters of water a day. They're saying drink literally a couple of mouthfuls of this, and drink a couple of mouthfuls of the other thing. And there's ways that you can make it easier yourself. I'm sure you do, Zara, which is to have these things in front of you every day. You can see them. They're there. They're not hidden away. They're not in the basement. They're not in the kitchen cupboard. They're right in front of you. Right.
Kitchen.
I'm saying, right. You just have to your routines, my friends. It has to be easy to do. See, my routine starts with when I sit here in front of my computer. I must do my morning routine first, and then number 2, and then number 3, and number 4. Make it easier yourself. Don't make a long list. Don't do some complicated rubbish that you can't follow because your brain goes, no, I don't like that. Make it very simple, and just take small things. 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. Maybe over time you might become stronger to do more, but until then, just make it small. It's clear to me, and I'm passionate about this. I really think this is where the trick lies. Cyrus, sorry, we interrupted you because you gave the mic.
Oh no, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So I was going to say, take the relationship between 2 partners, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could be business partners. It could be husband and wife, husband and husband, wife and wife. It could be a relationship in any capacity, right? So I'm going to give you husband and wife as the dominant example here. So imagine, just ask yourself, if you have a partner, when was it when I realized that I love my partner? More than likely, you can't find a date for it. Why is that? Because that's something that people rarely think about. But I'm gonna let you know, when was it that you found out? It's not a date, but it's like a significant period of your life. So after the relationship started, you realized your partner is there for you. You wake up and she's there, or he is there. Oh, brilliant. Next day. You wake up, or he or she is there. Brilliant. Next day. Now you have a child together. When you wake up, you are all there. Okay, so it turns into a unit, right? So consistently, this unit or this person is always there for you. When you lose your parents, God forbid, that person is there for you. When your child is born, that person is there for you. When you lose your job, when you get a new job, when you start your own business, in every milestone in your life, bitter or sweet, that person is there for you. Then you begin to trust. I hope you don't take it for granted, because we are all here for a while, okay, not forever. But take it as something you can trust. So once you see consistency, your brain sees the pattern. Once the pattern is, oh yeah, well, that person is there every morning, every afternoon, every evening. You go to bed together, you wake up together. So that consistency creates trust. When the trust is there, many things can thrive. Okay, especially the relationship. That's the point I was trying to drive at.
Everything can thrive. This is my point, Cyrus. What we do, we set a goal, and we don't do anything about it consistently. We let it fester away, and then the goal dies because our brain goes, I don't know what I can do it. The only way we can trick our brain into doing it is by doing it, like you say, consistently. Every day we do a bit towards. Alavine said it very well, and Alavine knows very well that the way she learned English is by being consistent. She said so, it's by being repeating. Yes, she may not have wanted to do it on some days, but she still did, right? And I don't know whether if you don't know Alavine too well. She's a French-speaking person and who's learned English. And she speaks as good as all of us. I would say she doesn't struggle.
That's
for
3 languages at least. That's at least 3 languages.
Yeah, I can't speak another language. I learned French.
I can. No, you speak 2 languages, Any good English and bad English.
I can speak broken English, Nigerian style. I really can. I can. Maybe if you can't Cockney as well. Hold on 1 second. Let me welcome Caroline. Caroline, how you doing? It's been years. Now this woman's a genius. She really is. If you don't know who Caroline is, I met her a couple of years ago, and I thought, wow. She's a proper superstar. I do remember the people I meet. That's why I meet people, right? She's genuinely amazing. So I'm so glad you're here. How are you doing, Vincent? Welcome, sir. Welcome to our room. I think most people's goals aren't because it isn't what they actually want. It can't be what they want. So I'll agree with you and say it can't be what they want if they don't create a system to achieve it. It's because it stays a fantasy, and all fantasies eventually die, right? They all die. Your goals can't be a fantasy. If you're serious, if you really want it, tell your brain and then build that trust with your brain that we're gonna do what it takes to achieve it. What it takes is simply repetition of small steps. No, Caroline, you can't unmute. This is not audio. You can't unmute. Do you want a link to join the studio? Yeah, I have to give you the link at the top of our page. Okay, let me show you.
I'm enjoying this conversation, Any.
We can't be here forever. Though. I don't like keeping people forever anymore. I'm enjoying the conversation for sure. Caroline, if you can copy and paste this into your browser. And I just shared. Okay, I just shared the link. Yeah, this is a link. If you want to join the studio, you have to copy this link into your browser.
Alavine was just said. He says, "Zara, you are just like in extrinsic motivational mindset, in extrinsic motivation." And I was like relying, and I said, I just want to answer Ana Rukhina for.
So, if you want to understand that, that means this word means you need someone else to encourage you to create something new, to continue to repeat every task you have to. And when you have the other one, it is you create it by yourself, you go for it by yourself. You need no one, nobody, nothing to encourage you from the exterior. Okay.
It's so true. It's so true. It's true. And the way you do that is by creating making what you have to do your habits. By making what you do automatic, by just doing what you have to do daily in small steps. Sean, I wonder what you think, Sean. I don't know whether Sean's still here, but I wonder what you think, right? Okay, and so Sean's having, he couldn't join us on stage today, right? Got distracted, says Sean.
Sean says always that transformation and all that, everything, that part, it is happening in the middle, it's in the center. All the transformation, but the starting and the ending is always like beautiful.
It's where the magic is. Look, I think when we learn to just show up every day, regardless, we'll get to the end. No, I think that's I want to do this. I really like, as Vincent said, if you show up every day for yourself and do what you have to do, take a step, take a step, take a step, take a step. That's what you have to do. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Each time you're going to get better. Each time you're going to get, better mentally, better knowledge-wise, better practice-wise, more creative. More committed because now your brain knows we're going to do this again tomorrow. So I might as well get into it. To me, it just seems like such a simple way to be what we want to be. Trying to rely on motivation, trying to rely on, intention, trying to rely on willpower. They all fail because our brain just says no. Our brain is not aligned with our will. Only by doing over and over and over does our brain says, "Yep, this is what I do. This is who I am."
Yeah, your story is your best sales weapon, huh?
I tell you, Again, I think telling your stories are right. Telling your stories, you have to make that. Of course, you can make time to refine the story. You can make time to tell people the stories in the right places, right? If you said, I'm sure you have done so already, Zara. You said to yourself, every day I'm going to talk to at least 10 people about my business. That's where you learn the MLM. Set yourself a target.
MLM communication and prospecting.
Yeah. You tell 10 people about my business. Let me see what the result is, right? Do that every day. You build a big team in any multi-level marketing. Exactly. In any team, any organization, whatever the service is. You sell more as well. And bearing in mind that any good business, any good salesperson will be lucky to get 4 out of 10 sales. All you need to do is get 2 or 3 sales a day. I mean, where are you going to be end of the week, Zara? If you've got 2 or 3 sales a day, every day.
If I'm going to get 2 or 3 every day, in multi-level marketing, it's like it's going to grow very quickly,
Yes.
Because it's too much in multi-level marketing, because you never know. I'm not dependent on that person like Cyrus. I'm not dependent on Cyrus. He's going to grow my business. But if I know that Annie is with me and knows what we are doing, and Cyrus is also with me, and he also knows. And now everybody else who's there on the LinkedIn, they all are part of that network. And now they told another 10, and they told another 10, and now everybody there in the audience, they started watching us. They have also becoming part from their countries, wherever they are, because we are already available in 160 countries. So referrals, commissions, duplications, we have a system.
Yeah. Again, even if you don't do 10 a day, I'll say, if you said to yourself, I'm going to talk to 2 people every day. That's what I do in my business, in my publishing business. I have at least 1 Zoom meeting every day. No, do the math, my friends. End of the week, I've talked to at least 7 people, right? Over the month, I've talked to a lot of people. Not all of them are going to buy right there and then. Don't get me wrong, really not, right? Eventually they will, though. Some of them will, and like you say, Zara, who are those people talking to?
Achha, I'm sorry if I'm mute. I'm sorry if I'm mute because Azan is happening.
No, it's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem. I didn't even notice, right? So suddenly, you must see your numbers will grow drastically. Because the 200 people I've spoken to, I know it's more than 200. In a month, how many people can they refer?
Because you've been doing so many events, so if I keep showing up with you, I don't have to do anything else. I swear to God. Alhamdulillah, yeah. I'm so blessed. I'm so blessed in my life. I don't just to show up with any every day. I know somebody is going to sign up with me, and then my upline is going to get to know about this. Okay, Zarar is doing like that way, and they cannot do it because I'm special. Alhamdulillah, I built that relationship over time. I understand. I built. Actually, it's like you said, relationship marketing, and plus the things they didn't believe that at that time. I said them, no, I'm going to do this way because I'm happy that way, because I can connect my heart with someone in this way, where I can tell my personal stories, where I can tell people why I'm doing this in more like a Zarar way. So, like-minded, like Cyrus said, to find micro niche, or what do you call it? Niche, what? Yeah,
niche.
Narrow down.
It's niche. It's niche.
Yeah, to narrow down, and find that right people who are ready for that transformation. Yeah. I don't mind if they are in my downlines or if they show up in Ana Rakhina's downline. I don't mind. If she's getting money, she's happy. They're in the Spain. I'm happy here in Pakistan. That's it. I'm going to get the commissions. I'm going to get the money because I know it's like so easy. It's digital. So if somebody say, I'm going to do this that way, she's going to send me money in my accounts. I can give it to my mother, my nephew, my nieces, and my circle is, it's key.
You see, but your success relies on you just keep reaching out.
Yes, well, I have to reach out to the men's. I have to reach out to the people 45 plus.
But it is important to be constantly pitching when you're in MLM.
Yes, right? Yes.
But there's a big but there. You need to look at who you are pitching, really, because you don't want to be pitching at the wrong crowd. Otherwise, and you have to know them, because otherwise you'll be like George W. Bush, who once famously waved at Stevie Wonder. I'm not sure why he did
that. Oh, Stevie knew way back to him, no? Oh.
But you never know who's in the audience, right?
No, look, business is about people at the end of the day. And maybe our goals is also it involves people, but it doesn't involve people in terms of determining our routine, right?
Yeah.
But if we don't have a routine, then we're going to be, it's chaos. So we're sporadic in how we do what we do. If I was in your business, I'll set myself a target and say, right, every morning when I wake up, here's what I'm gonna do my morning routine first, whatever that is, right? And then next hour, I'm gonna focus on reaching out to people to set up those meetings. That's all you have to do, and keep that routine every day. If you say you're going to do it for an hour, for example, right? You're going to do outreach, to people every day for an hour. You're going to be amazed what numbers you get. End of the week, you've actually put in 7 hours.
You cannot close everything on the first day. I mean, it takes 6 or 7 prospects. I mean, 6-7 times to because I have to recommend books. I have to tell them, go read GoPro. Some people are on the very basic. They have no idea what I'm talking about because they're already finding some online work, blah, 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 in different part of the world. And, I have some ways how I do it because I don't have my uplines here in Pakistan and I'm the only one from, who is working from here, from forever living Spain, Madrid. So who is there for me? Everything is online. So if I need some help, I need to go to those people who are absolutely speaking different languages. They're Spanish. So to understand them, to follow them, to duplicate them, what they're doing, and I have to follow that way, is it's constant mentoring, it's constant training, it's constant education, it's constant, any what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, of course, it really is. I think, look, I would beg you, all those who are here, just dare to write your routine, create a routine, and follow it. It's not going to be easy. Again, I just said, Zara, if you make your second hour after you wake up outreach time, you can make it any hour, third hour, fourth hour. Are you with me? But every time that you do that hour of outreach, you see the results, and that will tell your brain, "I'm going to do this again tomorrow," because it works. That's how we achieve big goals. There's no way around it. All of you, please, trust me on this one. Try it. Your day will be a joy.
I can tell you that. Excuse me.
No, feel free. Feel free.
I can say that it is true what you are saying, but I think it is about depending on the person. Okay, I think it is also about the fact what is our goal and what is our rhythm. Because if our rhythm is to work better at night, and at night you can't because you have your spouse who has a different rhythm than you, or a different routine than yours. I mean, maybe for her the best moment to think is about the morning. She thinks better at this time. She does everything better on the morning, and you do better things
in the US time zones, yeah.
and I think we need to take that into account when we are in our life, because sometimes we want to do things, we want to create some routines, but it is not that easy. Let me give you an example. When I am alone in my apartment, I can do whatever I want. Okay, I can work on my routines, etc. alone. But if I decide to go in my mother's house for a few days, I will have another routine, and I will have to follow whatever she asked me to do, because it is her house, her place, so her rules. So I think we need to think deeper about this kind of things we want to apply, about the consistency, and to adapt. I think adaptation in these routines, especially when we live with people, is very important. So adaptation, being able to adapt to our environment, is very important.
I agree with you on 100%. Sorry, I put Sarah something to you. I pressed the wrong button. Then that's why maybe I get tired, right? I better perk up. I have another show to do. That's a Stanley, right? Anyway, Alvin, I agree with you. Again, you notice I'm not saying 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. I'm saying to you, first hour, second hour. Yeah, you're gonna have those days wherever you are. And today, coming back to your point about when you're not in your normal environment, when like when you go to your mother's, for example, right? Are you sure you can't do your routine there?
I can. I love it. I mean, sometimes.
Of course you can. They say that for a long time, and up until where are we this Wednesday? Up until the weekend. This weekend, say until the Sunday just gone, right? That's just today's Wednesday, right? I thought to myself, I can't do my meditation, I can't do my morning routine because I'm not at home. Then I realized I'm lying to myself. My computer is here, everything is here. I have my notebook. What stops me? Because my morning routine was never a routine until now. Because it's now a routine, I've done it for the last 3 days in a row, right? and it's not that hard. And the thing about anyone's routine is that you learn to tell people during this time I'm not available. I'm doing my thing. All right, I'm doing my thing. I know you might need me, but you have to wait until after I've done what again. I've explained to you how in 4 hours you can achieve your goal. You can make the progress you want to make in 4 hours, not 8 hours. You can do what you need to do, and your day, by having a routine, your day is freed up. If something moves, flex. I agree. Adapt. If someone wants me to come out, say in my second hour, and I really must do it, I'll go and do it because I know I've still got the rest of the day to come back and do my.
Any mother. Let's see, like tomorrow, yesterday, Bibi was saying, Mama, she was saying me, I told her because she was also busy. So I thought like I should go to Kasur for some days, because Kasur is like just 60 kilometers, 75 kilometers, sorry. So my mother was saying me, let's go there today. So I know there, if I'm going to go there, so everything is going to be changed, absolutely changed.
Yeah. Again, are you sure you can't? You really can't do when you come back?
Well, I can do it there because now I'm going to sleep 7, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, max 10 o'clock. And then I'm going to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning because everybody is going to wake up at 5. No worries. Okay.
Here's what you haven't factored into your thinking, Alvin, as well. Once you develop a routine, your brain.
But still, I'm going to manage it, right? I'm going to show up here with Annie, right?
Hold on. Once you've done a routine for a few days, once it becomes your set routine, right? When you don't do it, your brain will tell you something's wrong. Right. So you're compelled to do it. You find a way to do it. Is what I'm saying to you. Even when you have to travel, your brain will ask you, "Are you sure we can't do this? What on the road? Are we sure we can't do this when we come back? Are we sure we can't do this when we get there?" Your brain will find a way because this is what gives your brain joy. If you make your routine cumbersome, painful, not fun, it doesn't reward you, it doesn't get the results that you want, you're not going to do it. Your routine has to be what you want to do, what moves you forward in your life and towards your goals. And every time you do it, you get joy. Just knowing that you've done. Some people will give themselves a reward, a treat. When they do it, they get a treat.
Annie, do you hear this voice on the street? It's the routine. No. This guy every morning, 5:30, he comes, 5:30 in the morning. He says, "Jaagte raho sare, subah ho gayi," every day. Okay, it's a routine.
I love that. Again, ask yourself, how does he do that every day? Rain or shine, whether he feels ill or whether he doesn't feel ill. I'm saying every day. That's cool. That's a routine. That's a routine. That's a routine. We need that for our businesses, for our dreams, for our goals. I will turn up and I'll do it, whatever. If you know you have to travel somewhere around, and nothing says you can't wake up an hour earlier and do what you have to do work-wise, right? Do your outreach then. I'm saying, working a routine is the best thing you're going to do for yourself. The best thing I've done for myself. Try it. Try it, and then genuinely, I'm willing to meet with you to have a conversation with you. You tell me how it's working or not working. Alvin, just promise me that you're going to give it a go. I don't care what the routine you create. You create it.
She's saying it is much more difficult. For example, I have to practice my listening online, and I can't. No internet connection. This is what she said in the comments.
Really, I don't check from our internal comments on here, right?
Yes, when I'm in the south of my island with my mother at my mother's place, I don't have internet connection. So, yes, I can try
Hold on.
to. I already did it. Okay, I
You know,
can
because
either
of me.
learn some
Mhm.
pictures or some sounds, etc. So that I
Yes.
can do. But I have, for example, to go outside because I will have my mother telling me, you have this person inside, you have to go outside because you will disturb that at the end. It is like you have to go outside. And when I go outside and I come back too late, it is like, Where were you?" And I'm like, okay, never mind. So I just have to postpone some of my routines when I'm with her. It is not something bad or good. It is not for
Mm.
criticizing, but it is just to give you a pretty simple example. But I already created a routine about my English learning. For
Right.
example, one of my routine is to make sure that every day I come somewhere on stage, in general in your
Yeah.
live stream, okay,
Mm.
and I try to speak. If I don't speak, at least I try to send at least one comment because my goal
Yeah.
is to practice my English.
My
Okay,
point.
that is my routine.
That's my
But
point.
I don't. Yes, but it is not about time.
No.
If it's a routine without time, I already have it. Okay.
Yeah.
Also every day I try. So it is not I try. Every day I listen at least to one podcast in
Uh-huh.
English. Like that,
Re-
I will hear some new
Right.
vocabularies,
Uh-huh.
and
Uh-huh.
I also try to read a book about
Right.
English, because it is important for me to practice my pronunciation as well. So I already have a goal and a map and a routine about English.
Okay.
The one,
What's
yes,
the goal? What's the goal?
the goal here is to be able to master English perfectly in order
Yeah.
to be a good coach, because I can't be a coach who doesn't know some words or who doesn't know how to pronounce some
Wow.
words,
Yeah.
who is unable to answer a question about grammar rules,
Mm.
and for
Mm.
me it is quite important to do so. And that is for that my goal, okay, about English.
Awesome.
And
No,
if we
brilliant.
talk about, yes, about writing a book, I'm not there yet, but it is about writing down my thoughts, my
Mm.
ideas, how I did reach that step, why did I thought like that before and now I changed my mind, what did change my mind, etc.
Mm.
So it is little things like that I do every day in order
Yeah.
to achieve a goal later.
Mm.
Maybe I don't have a deadline. If you ask me to have a deadline, I don't have any. Okay, I just
Right.
know. So I also started with Spanish because I want to learn it.
Mm-hmm.
My goal for that is I try. That is I try because it is more difficult to at least read a little text in Spanish. I
Yeah.
try to listen to Spanish contents,
Yeah.
and I didn't find someone with whom I could talk in Spanish like
Now
that. I
you have
would be
Ana Regina
forced to
Corrado
speak.
Guerrero, huh? Now she has
Yes,
another Regina.
I told her that I want to learn Spanish, but for the moment, I think we need to go deeper in our discussion before she got that clearly. Anyway, because I am able to understand when a Spanish person talks with me, so it's a big step. So I am able
Yeah.
to understand if they speak not too fast.
Look,
But
look,
I
you,
I can
you
speak.
you've done it with English. I think you can do it with Spanish
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
yeah,
The same routine. Just create that routine, right?
yes,
Read a part of the book a day. Engage with content online with a podcast, and find
yes,
a chance to speak the language
yes,
every day.
yes,
And you will accelerate. Accelerate. If you've got other goals, I guess I don't know what you
mm,
do. I don't want you to have too many things going on at once, right?
yes,
Our bad habit as humans is that we want to do more. We want to try and do it all at once.
yes. I know that.
Life is a marathon. So do this. Make your habits, make your routines
Mm,
simple, easy.
yes,
You know, some people will say that if you can't do it in 2 minutes, then it's too long. Other people will say to you, give yourself a time, 15 minutes, and that's it. That's it, right? At the beginning, that makes sense because your brain hears, oh, it's not for that long, really. Once I start, I'll be done. That's what 15 minutes is, right?
I can take it like 5 ml and more water inside and drink.
Right. I was saying, literally, make it simple. Now, if that's what you take away from us today, make it simple. Do small things. The small things become the big thing, the big results, right? That's why the book is called Atomic Habits. The atom is the smallest particle, technically, right?
I think I already read that book. Excuse me. I think I already read that book.
It's a great book. I think there's many other books in the same vein. James Clear just lived it, and then wrote about how he lived it because he had an accident. He was bullied at school, and then he had to do things differently. And all he did was just create habits. And if I want to do this, I'll do it. Now here's how I do it. Here's what I do first. Here's what I do next. Here's what I do next. And I go to the gym in my day. I will write. And look at him now. Again, look, I'll say this. If you want to write a book, I know the simplest thing to do is create a routine.
Yes.
I will write for half an hour or for an hour a day. You can say at this time if you want. Don't go early if you're not a morning person. But if you say I'll write for an hour a day, keep that hour. Just keep. If that hour is your first hour or your last hour or in between, as long as you do that hour, your book will get written quite quickly. In all of that, let's say you miss a session. Today you have to go somewhere. You have to you was around doing stuff with your mother. The trick is tomorrow, continue. Don't have a break tomorrow as well. Don't let your brain decide I'm not doing this. Persistence, consistency, repetition. These are all big words, but they mean something. If you miss a day, get back on the horse. Now, if this is a day, there's days when I can't do my client work because I have a conference coming up, for example, right? Then like today, I did it. Most of my time was spent. Yesterday, most of my time was spent doing about the conference, creating a video, talking to my speakers, setting up the event page.
You put them in the task. Do you use calendar? Everything. Like for 15 minutes, I'm going to do this. Or
I use Canva. But I think there's so many more bits to the event thing. There's also setting up payment links.
The task, you put the task like 15 minutes, I'm going to do this, or 20 minutes, something like that. Because somebody programmed me.
Mine is more than an hour. I'll do things for an hour.
Nope.
And but that's my aim. If I just do 15 minutes, I'll be just as happy because I've done something towards what I said I would do. And so that's what my brain hears. My brain hears, maybe I didn't do what everything I was meant to do, but I did something. On most days, as it gets later in the day, I say to myself, right, I'm going to spend 10 minutes on client 1, 10 minutes on client 2. I want to read one page of the book, right, and work with that. Now, on one book, I'm just doing editing and read through. So I don't say I'm going to read a chapter. So I'm going to read one page. If I'm there and I actually get to read 3 pages, win-win, right? I'm a winner. I think I didn't read the whole chapter, but at least I'm now reading 3 pages of, maybe not 5 pages, maybe 10 pages each time. Again, if you're going to write a book, schedule the time in. Try and do it same day every day. After a week, you'll be amazed how much content you have. Just by following a simple routine. No, I will write for an hour in the morning, and that's it. Now, end of the week, you've written 7 hours worth of content. That's a lot of content. Now, so the first few times you turn up, Zara, your brain will say, "No, I'm not sure I want to do this." I remember that now, our dark nights of the soul again.
Yeah.
Ignore it. Now you have to push past it. Yeah, your brain will say to you, I'm not sure I'm going to enjoy this. And tell your brain, we're going to do it anyway, whether you like it or not. You know, that's how you trust yourself. Because now you know you always follow through.
Yeah.
And that's where change happens, Zara. That's a transformation moment you were talking about yesterday, right? That's when you know that you're now that person who does that.
Yeah.
I'm not the person who does books because I do it every day. I do a bit of it every day. Even if I just show up and just look at my screen, open my client's book file, and just look at it. At least now I know that's what I do for a living. Are you with me? The other way is chaotic. It's we're taking a gamble.
Yeah.
We're gonna carry on. You know, you're not gonna if you don't plan it into your day, it's not gonna work. You know, that's the point.
I'm still struggling with the calendar, but whatever the things they told me to follow. So now I'm learning those tools. I go there and post it, but I still not put them in my task the way they're putting it every day to show me, and they remind me, look, I am maintaining my task, but you're not doing it. But I do everything.
You're saying what I'm saying. Now, your colleagues are doing what I'm saying. They have a routine. It doesn't change, right? It's a routine that they follow every day. I have no idea. Now, maybe it's not every day. Maybe it's once every couple of days. Either way, that routine is key. That routine it will save you the stress. It will save you the time. It will make you more successful. Full stop. End of. This is what everyone. I think this is what coaches need to be teaching people. Trust yourself by following a routine. Simple as that. That's it. Do that. Come and tell us how.
For example, like it's getting late, like 2:47. What time are you closing?
Let's say the 3 minutes. Let's say 3 minutes. We'll go. And I'll let you make it.
There's a purpose of staying up, burning the midnight oil, and
the candle through the middle. That's what we call it. It's not at both ends.
But you never know. You never know who's listening us and what they're learning from us, right? And what are those takeaways?
So all those who are watching the replay as well, right? But you two are here, so I'm not talking to myself. I'll take it.
So I work with this global giant before, to tell people, okay, how is that changing my life, and how I'm growing slowly, and how I'm showing up. Because here in this business, you have to show up. Okay, you have to talk. You have to talk with people. You have to tell them the health benefits. You have to hear about their problems. Like if somebody is going through irritable bowel syndromes, somebody has diabetes, you have to listen them very carefully and suggest them the real products which are going to work for them. Like last night in Lisa's room, I was telling Vitalite for women's, Vitalite for men's, for a reason, because I've been through that training and I know how does that. We have like thousands of global awards on some of our products. So, and they are from UK. We are the UK Golden Awards. So what to recommend them? My point is, we all are here, but for the end of the day, this program is for those who really wanted to transform their lives. Okay, and we are not selling products here. We are going to give them a system. People are going to learn English. People are going to learn Spanish, right? If they want to learn Cordoban people, what they talk in Cordoba, and the one they want to learn the Girona or anything. I mean, if it's about language, beside everything else, we are giving them a system to multiply commissions and referrals in 160 countries. So,
yeah. It's all about creating those
habits,
systems.
manage disciplines, routines, everything.
Yeah. Well, look, follow the routine. Create the routine that you want. Follow the routine. There's no point doing things that don't help you. Looking at your phone never helps you, by the way. If that's what you do first thing in the morning, don't do it. Change that. Tell yourself, I would do something different. And when you do something different for a few days in a row, suddenly your phone doesn't becomes less important. Because now you're someone who, when you wake up, you do something, not to look at your phone. The problem, we tell ourselves, this is what I do every day, because we just keep doing it.
Business owners, independent business owners.
Yeah. Again, your brain just thinks, when I keep looking at my phone, don't do that. Tell yourself, I work on my business, I work on acquiring clients. I am this is my business. I am this person who does this. And that's how your brain's going to trust you. And when your brain trusts you, everything gets better. I already mentioned personal relationships earlier. Once your brain realizes this is what we do every day, your brain will say, okay, fine, I like it, let's do it. Isn't that going to be amazing? Think of that in your life. Where your brain says, yeah, then let's just do it. And every day you just do it. You just keep doing on a routine. Of course, you get more creative, you get better, you get faster. But every day you show up. That's the important thing. Yeah. My friends, I don't want to keep you any longer. I could, but I won't, because I can probably have a nap for an hour or so before I go and do power thinking with Sir Stanley Green. But I will thank you all. I thank all those who stayed with us in the audience. I thank you, Alavine, and Zara, of course Cyrus as well, and Sir Stanley Green turn up. There's a few more I can see in my book, so I should thank you profusely. You're superstars. Without you, I couldn't do the shows. I'm talking to myself, right? Well, please go and create a routine.
Thank you.
Even if just come and tell me any hasn't worked. You see it work.
Brother, I want to sync those calendars with you guys. I mean, I wish, like, if I have a calendar sync with, when you join a team and you're working a team.
Yeah.
That's the beauty about it.
You can again. Don't do the what now. If onlys. Don't do that to yourself. If you want a calendar, go and get one. Get one. They're free online. There's many of them. Get one, and then you have no excuse not to do what you have to do. I'm saying everyone, there's a calendar everywhere, right?
It's just like Annie has already shared a calendar. Your everything with me. Zorar, 7 days I'll be online on this time. Come on, if you have time, you're in Kasur, just show up. Just get on 3 o'clock. Put your alarm on. Come with your bag. Work, right?
Yeah. We can all do it. We can all do it. Look, I will thank you and leave you and say enjoy your night.
Thank you.
I'm sure at Cristiano's shows tomorrow, you're going to come and talk about miscarriage and baby loss and how men grieve. Men grieve too. We did a show last week, but it didn't go live. StreamYard so locked off randomly after we started, so you're going to do it again. You want to join that, please do. I'd love to see you there. And otherwise, I will thank you again for being superstars, all of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Do enjoy your night. Alavine, please go to sleep. I'm grateful for the time you give me every time. Take care, my friends. Take care.
Take care.
Celebrating with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with global.media.com.